Hey guys. So I just wanted to share something really, really cool with you all. So Miranda Mantico's here. I am a psychic channeler for the Divine Feminine Collective, specifically Seraphim Angelics, but I also hear from archangels. I hear from Mother Mary, Christ, Thoth, and several others, of course, my personal guides as well. Um, So I just wanted to share something interesting that happened today. I feel like it could be relevant for someone. Okay. So if this message is meant for you, then you're going to get it. So in my local business, I am a hypnosis practitioner. That's not the only thing I do, but it is one of the things that I do to help people clear their own channel so they can begin to get information from their guides, right? Um, and I just want to give you guys a really cool example of what happens when you trust your intuition. Okay. So, the session that I did today was honestly, it was just amazing. But it was a confirmation of trusting intuition. Why is it so important that you trust your intuition? Okay. Your feelings. Why do you need to trust your feelings? Why do you need to work in your joy? Why do you need to really start letting go of the things that don't feel like fun anymore, right? It's just not fun anymore. So why are we doing it? so so my client comes in today and I got her permission to tell this story, but I'm going to be kind of vague just because to protect her privacy. But she's very special to me because we've shared some past lives together. And I love her dearly. But she said something so interesting. She said, every time she's ever come to see me, it's always been an extremely important moment in her life when it was time for her to leave something behind and to move forward, right? And she said last year she was having a very difficult moment and she was on her porch crying, talking to God and asking for help and just really reaching, right? She said the prayer, she cried and cried. She opened her eyes and I had sent her a message. And the message was a voice message and it said, I love you. I just want you to know that I love you. You're on my heart. I'm sending you prayers and hugs and something along that line, right? And she said, then she started to cry again because it was like God immediately answered her prayer through me, right? But I responded to my intuition. I responded to the feeling I had. I had a feeling. Check on her, right? How many times do we do this and something incredible happens, something miraculous or something angelic or something very healing? And we also know what happens when we ignore our feelings and when we ignore our intuition, right? We know both paths. So she comes in today for a session. We haven't done one in a long time. And I knew it was going to be awesome because it just always is. It's just the way it is. But so many cool synchronicities happened. It'd probably be impossible for me to tell you. You'd have to be here and like watch her whole session, which, maybe we'll start channeling online so you guys can watch some of these things. But we're doing her little pre-session like discussion and interview just so I can see like where she's at, what she needs, and what are we working on here, right? And I was called to, it was so funny. Okay, so she looks down in the middle of our talking and she says, I'm just going to hold this book up. This is a Dolores Cannon book. They Walked with Jesus is what this one's called. And she could only see like the bottom half of the book down here. She could just see Dolores Cannon. And she's like, oh my gosh, that's so crazy. It says Dolores Cannon down there. This was like on my bookshelf, right? And she goes on to tell me like her connection to Dolores. And of course, I am a QHHT practitioner as well. I do my own version of hypnosis, but I also practice Dolores's version for clients who want her version. So she sees the Dolores Cannon and she's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm seeing that. I'm like, of course, right? But then my guides tell me to pull out the book. They're like, she needs to see this picture, okay? So I'm like, okay. Which, by the way, if you're trying to develop your psychic abilities in any kind of way, you have to just trust those things, right? So I pulled the book out. I set it on the top shelf. I didn't say anything. I just pulled it out because they told me to. This has happened many times, by the way. So I'm just recounting this today's instance of this happening, but I've seen it many times. So we go on about our discussion. We're getting ready to do her session. So at this point, we haven't done hypnosis yet. Okay. We're still just talking so that I can assess what she needs. Okay. And by the way, there was so much light. So much light. When there's that much light in the room angelically, sometimes I can't even see clearly. I'm just like, I can kind of see the person, but I'm getting hit with so much light that it's like a fuzzy outline of a person. Okay. Same thing for her. She said she's looking at me and she can't hardly see either. So we're both encountering so much light. And we finally start the session. Well, I have in the spa where I work, I offer sessions inside something I call a quantum bed. Okay. So this bed has infrared, light therapy, sound tuning, and sauna all at once. Now, each of those things can be turned off and run individually. So say somebody's sensitive to heat or whatever, they don't have to have the heat. But all 4 modalities can go at the same time. And what I learned through my practice is that actually doing hypnosis in the bed, in the quantum bed, really amplifies the energy. Okay. So if you can imagine, you're getting sound tuned, you're getting medical grade infrared, you're getting light therapy, you're getting all this beautiful, peaceful, grounding, connecting energy while we do the hypnosis. So it's a much more powerful session than a traditional session, in my opinion, from what I've seen. So she gets in the bed, I turn the bed on, boom, she's down like fast. 2 minutes, she's there. She's getting her visions and all her stuff. So that was awesome just by itself because it works so quickly. But as she's doing this, she remembers that this moment that happened the day before. Okay. So she's in hypnosis. She's in trance, basically getting all these images, pictures, signs, all these things. And she had told me in her interview time that she had encountered this amazing, majestic tree the day before, which felt so important. And I was telling her about this painting I just did of a tree of life. And she said the tree is called the Tree of Life. It's here in New Orleans in City Park. Okay. She starts telling me about this amazing tree. And I don't want to say too many details about it because the tree is sacred. But let's just say she had an amazing experience by this tree. Okay. But on the way to get there, she was crossing this like little bridge, I guess, in that area. And this was at night, by the way. And she said, I thought I saw a man standing on the water. And she's remembering this while she's in trance and hypnosis, and she realizes that it was Christ and that he was standing on the water on her way to get to this tree. Okay. And I was like, oh my gosh, the book, here it is. I was called to bring this book out so you could see the picture of Christ standing on the water. And he gave her the confirmation all at one time. Okay. Like all in these moments, all these little synchronicities start to line up, and she realizes that Christ brought her to the tree. And the tree was an activation of her light and her remembrance of other realms. Okay. And I'm going to say a little bit more about that in just a second, but I just want to first talk about this. So she realizes that she did see Christ last night on her way to visit this tree. She gets a confirmation of it in this session, because when we do these deep hypnosis sessions, it clears your channel. It gets the clutter out of your mind so you can really hear God and any of your guides or your higher ascended master guides, or even if you want to call them extraterrestrial guides, because some of the extraterrestrials that people have encountered along the way would resemble angelics just because of the way they look or the abilities that they have. So a lot of times you can have a team of guides in your life, and it might be a fusion of people. It might be Mother Mary with Christ, with an archangel, and an extraterrestrial being that's helping you too, who is already evolved, right? And working on that same team. So that's what I love about this particular method is, it's basically, you could say fast tracking you to your angelic guides, okay? So that you get clear messages, good answers like that you really need to keep you on your journey path and healing at the same time. So that being said, she realizes, she has this like epiphany moment. She's like, I saw Christ. Oh my God. Well, then the vision just keeps going deeper and deeper and deeper. And some of it I just can't share because it's personal. But she then gets to the blue avian beings. Okay, I knew this was happening. I'm a blue avian being. Okay, so I knew this was coming, and she's very connected to me. So I'm like, where are they? I know they're coming. And they work very closely with Christ and have for many, many lifetimes, thousands and thousands of years, because these beings are just pure love. Okay. And they actually don't come to the planet that often. So it's really amazing when we can encounter each other's energy as blue avians, because there's not that many of us. Maybe there's going to be more in the future, but right now, there's only a few blue avians on the planet. It's not like that many. So it's really always joyful to encounter that energy. Okay, so I just want to speed up a little bit so I can give you the whole story. So she encounters the blue avians and she's like, oh my gosh, I see these beings. And they like kind of look like birds, but they're like humans too. And she's describing them. I'm like, okay, I know who she's seeing. Well, let's give another synchronicity. She sees one that's blue and gold. Well, the day before, yesterday, I saw a whole message on the blue avians from a friend of mine. She might be hearing this message too. Her name is Dale. Hey, Dale. She sent a message about the blue avians, and I was listening to it, and several parts of the story really resonated. And I'm like, yeah, I feel like if the whole thing's not true, at least some of it is, because I could feel the authenticity of the story. And there was this one blue avian in the story that was gold and blue. Okay. And this is what my client was seeing, a gold and blue avian. And it's not uncommon for Thoth to come through my sessions. So I thought maybe it was Thoth, but it wasn't. It was a different blue avian, but who was also helping. Okay. So we go through this whole conversation with this guide, which was amazing. So many beautiful things, you guys, so many beautiful synchronicities. When we finish the session, she's trying to describe him to me. And I had painted this painting like 3 weeks ago, the Tree of Life. Okay, I'll try to tag it in this if I can. God tells me, pull out this book and show her about Jesus. And then when we finish the session, I'm like hearing her talk about what he looked like now that she's awake and she's able to like try to translate it. And I was like, you mean like this guy? With all the feathers and the light, and he's glowing and his aura is like really beautiful and gold and blue. And she's like, yes, like this guy. And it just was so much. I'm probably forgetting things, you guys. It was just the confirmation of trust yourself. Okay. Like I was called to paint this painting. I was called to pull this book out. I was called to do the Tree of Life. And then she was called to do all the things she did. We meet up, we have a session, and everybody gets what they need. Now, I don't know who needs to hear that, but you need to start trusting yourself, okay? Trust yourself, okay? Especially now when we are in a time of creating the golden age, okay? As dark as things may seem, you are the light you are looking for, I promise you. So please, 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 please trust yourself, okay? So that being said, I want to say one more cool thing. When we were working with the blue avians in the session, I got lots of downloads even just during the session myself, even as the practitioner. She did too. But one really good key one, okay? Sorry, I had to move this off the screen, was this. Some of you may know this, some of you may not. For whoever understands it, this is for you. You know that we are just sound frequency, right? Manifesting color in a vibration that needs our assistance right now, technically. That's what starseeds are doing. We're bringing a frequency to a realm that needs our vibration. So when she was talking to the blue avians, it was literally, the best way to describe it was like they were playing her like an instrument, which she is, and we all are. But what was beautiful about it was it changed the energy of this entire area in that one moment. So it felt like, I have to show you one more thing, you guys. Another thing is coming through. It just felt like the most beautiful confirmation, you guys, for anybody who needs to hear this, that there's no stopping this. This is the rising of love that has always been who we truly are. And we're just coming to a place where we're okay with and comfortable with being the pure and true love that we are. And we're willing to stand up for it. And we're starting to understand how powerful it is, and that there is no stopping the rise that's coming. And the ocean is leading it. The ocean is leading it. I'm going to grab one more painting. I want to show you guys. Sorry. It's coming up as I'm talking to you. This one I painted, I guess a couple months ago now. And it feels like a combination of the Pisces and the Aquarius, right? The coming together. That was very much a message of her session, by the way, that we are now fusing the energies, that the goddess feminine energy has done what she was supposed to do. I don't know who of you are feeling that right now. Some of you might be in other stages of growth where you're just now encountering her energy, the feminine energy, but the realm that we're in, the frequency that we're in, she's done what she's supposed to do. Now the father energy comes in. The masculine energy is coming in to do what it has to do. Okay. So this is very interesting because when she awakened from the vision and we were talking about it, I told her about something that I saw, like in a vision last night. Maybe that's a whole separate post. That was a very long vision, but essentially the message was this. I looked at her and I said, the father energy is coming and it's technically already here. And then her eyes got big and she's like, that's what I saw in my vision. It's here, and I was like, yeah, it's here. And I think a lot of people are familiar with the Christed energy, okay? Christ being here, or the second coming, or the return. And I'm not even saying this from a Christian standpoint, although you could get it from that. You could get this from the Bible, because the Bible does talk about the return of Christ. But I'm talking about this extremely, so much more. It's like this deep love that is so powerful and all-encompassing. And the return of it feels like returning home. Like it coming here feels like we're going there. I don't even know how to describe that other than what I'm saying to you. And it's so important and special to be living right now and be able to witness the coming of the Christ. Even if this doesn't look like what you thought it was going to look like, a lot of Christians are going to have their mind blown, okay? I'm Christian and I had my mind blown when I really, really seeked Christ and looked to understand him. He will come and he will teach you if you ask him. But the thing is, you have to be willing to change and grow if you want to learn from the Christ. And I say this all the time, even to my husband. I'm like, honey, if you want Christ to teach you, you have to be willing to let go of anything that isn't true. This is why he was such a renegade or a rebel when he walked the earth 2,000 years ago. Anybody who is a seeker of truth should know this, and if you don't, you will learn it, okay? If you want to understand God, you want to understand the universe, you want to understand love, you want to understand healing, you want to understand whatever, then you have to be willing to let go, okay? You can't fully understand someone if you try to control the narrative, right? If you and I have never met before and we become friends and I try to control the whole narrative, how can I understand you, right? So the same applies to God and to these creator beings who created us. And I do believe there are more than one that created us, okay? God itself, being everything, all that is the universe. God is this, right? But I mean specifically those who came here like Christ to be part of this process, who are really our direct creator beings, okay? If you want to understand this energy, this presence, this omnipresence, there is a certain amount of surrender necessary, okay? Because to be taught, to enhance your understanding of something means you have to let go of whatever you thought before. Unless it was true, right? If what you thought before was actually true, then fine, you can hold on to that. But if not, you got to let it go, okay? So There's a lot that's about to happen, I feel, that is really going to call for you to trust and flow. That's so important right now. I keep hearing it. I've heard it for months, really probably years, but especially the last few months and the last few weeks. And that's what came up in this session, which was a direct visit from Christ. Trust and flow, trust and flow. And the water is leading this. Water is everything, you guys. Water can become anything. You are 80% water already. You're already a water being. Okay, so does it surprise us that these things are coming up out of the water? No. Jesus was walking on water. Come on, let's put the message together, guys. Anyway, so there's so much. Too much for this post. I don't even know if this video is too long to post, but I'm going to try to post it. So I just felt like I needed to share it. Pay attention to the water. Pay attention to the sky. We were told that in the session, and I'm already doing that. But if you're not doing that, maybe you should start doing it too. I am catching all kinds of stuff in the sky every day. I don't post it all. It's just I don't have that much time to do it all the time because I have small children and I have a family to take care of, but I post as much as I can. The signs are there. Okay. Ready your heart. That's all I can say. Ready your heart for growth and love and the most love you've ever felt in your life. Okay. It's good. It's going to be good. It may look a little rocky, but just trust. Okay. Trust the love. Love is the only thing that's really true. So keep going to it. Keep returning to love. When you return to love, you go home. Home is love. Remember that. God is love. So I don't know. Whoever needed to hear this, there it is. And maybe I'll make another video about the vision I saw last night because it was a lot. But I'll do my best. Okay. I love you guys. I hope this helps someone. If you love what you heard, please share it. You never know. Somebody may need to hear this, okay? You can be someone else's angel, just like when I reached out to my friend and sent her the message that I love her right as she prayed. This could be someone's message. So please don't hesitate to share this with those who need it, okay? I love you guys. You're awesome.